Hello and welcome from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, broadcasting around the world into your living room. This is BUSTradio, that is, biased, uninformed, sports talk radio. So for our inaugural episode, we'll get you to know the cast, who we will be covering a wide range of topics. And first off, Andrew Bellamy. So why don't you say a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and some of your favorite sports teams and sports moments.
Thanks, Brad. Well, yeah, as you said, I'm Andrew Bellamy. I'm from born and raised out of Humboldt, Saskatchewan. Been a lifelong Rider fan as well. I'm a fan of the Minnesota Vikings and, of course, the Raptors and the Jays, of course.
What about NHL?
NHL? Well, I split time between the Blackhawks and the Canadians.
Thanks. Moving on, Spencer Smith.
Hello. Spencer Smith, also from Humboldt, Saskatchewan. I lifelong Canuck fan, born here in Saskatchewan, so a little bit of Rider pride as well. I also fan of the Minnesota Vikings, mostly because of Madden 2004. I follow the Raptors as well, because we are in Canada, but I do like the Los Angeles Lakers, which we will get into later, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thomas Diebert.
Good evening, everyone. Tom Diebert, and I would call myself the most uninformed of all. I'm primarily NHL fan. That's where most of my limited knowledge is concentrated to. Wings fan, Oilers fan, Blues fan, Blackhawks fan, Rangers fan.
Original six, basically.
Yeah, and rooting for hockey all around. Greatest moment of my life, 2010, Sid Crosby, game-winning OT, gold medal goal. Invigorating, thrilling, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And looking forward to tonight.
Thank you, Thomas. That was good. Okay, so since we do live in the middle of hockey country, we'll start it off with some NHL news. Well, not news, sorry, discussion. Not that there is much to talk about these days, but first of all, just wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on the lockout and who you pulling for? What do you think's going to happen? How's it going to break down?
If I could take this one from here, Brad.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm quite uninformed. The whole issue angers me, so I'd have to say that I have avoided most articles as I feel they're biased one way or the other. I think that the hockey world really loves to villainize Gary Bettman, and I'm just not sure, fellas, how far that's getting us in anything. There's two sides to every argument. We know in this day and age that there's a question about how useful unions are, and perhaps things are getting blown out of proportion by the players, but perhaps things are getting blown out of proportion by the management, and the fact that we're back where we were 7 years ago. I mean, the fact that this can't be sorted out is frustrating, but I really don't think there's a need to villainize either party here.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. It's just like you said. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because I don't really understand or care to understand it because I figured they'll sort it out. But it's just a piss off that we're not gonna have hockey this year.
You don't think it'll get done?
Well, I'm sure it'll get done eventually, maybe in the next few weeks, few months.
Will we have
a season?
Yeah, that's the main question.
Yeah, that's the main question. Is there going to be a season?
Well, the goings about seem to be that there'll be hockey by American Thanksgiving. I think at this point there will be repercussions with American television, and so if the season isn't back on track by American Thanksgiving, the repercussions will be felt a lot harder by management.
You gotta think the scheduling would be terrible. American Thanksgiving would be end of November. Is that what we're thinking?
Well, I don't have the dates right in front of me.
But we are uninformed.
Mid to late November.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So say if hypothetically there was a locked out season, would the NHL lose any fans? Would any fan say, I'm not watching this sport again? That's it. I'm done with it. Or would they all come back when it comes back on in a year's time?
I'd say they would lose fans.
They would lose fans.
Yeah, I think that they did in 2004. They've had to build it up so much, and then you got Crosby and Ovechkin becoming such big stars. It brings in all the they're building it in America a lot, and if you just look at the quality of commercials, just to pick out a little thing, they're marketing the game way better. And I think if they do this again, people are just going to be like, really, twice in a decade? Are you kidding me? I'm just not. And then they barely even are relevant in the States as it goes. And if they're just scratching the surface, this will just.
Yeah, they're making strides, aren't they? And what a setback that would be now.
I think a couple twice as much billion revenue or something.
Yeah, you just had LA win the cup, so yeah, it's relevant.
Yeah, I think that the disparity between teams, the powerhouses of old, they're just not non-existent these days, and so I think that we've got a very healthy league as far as competition goes. Classic sports such as baseball, for example, I don't know that it attracts many new fans just because of the advantages given to certain teams, whereas an NHL franchise can be competitive over the course of an 8-year rebuild cycle, and hold on to some fans where there's not a perennial losers such as is seen in the Major League
Baseball.
Constantly
losing.
Yeah, that's probably that league.
Yeah, we could segue right into the Jays with that if we wanted.
We could. But we're just going to take a quick break instead. So stay tuned.